I'm Kelly Vaughn, and welcome to Inside Indy. And today's show is all about girl power. That's right. We're here to empower our young people, and especially those young women of color. And here to help us do that, actually, there's a number of ladies joining us. Veronica Watkins, and you are the founder and CEO of Sisters of Royalty, right?
Yes.
Welcome to Inside
Thank you.
Indy.
Thank you for having us.
And then we have Kelsey Price, and you are a mentee, because she is your mentor, right?
Yes.
Welcome to Inside Indy, Kelsey.
Thank you.
And then we have Deja McLemore. Did I get that right?
Yeah, Macklemore.
Okay. And she is also a mentee of SOAR. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. Wow. And you guys now, the first thing people think, we're always doing things in Indianapolis, but you come out of Anderson, right?
Yes. We're in Anderson. We started about 2 years ago, so yes.
Okay.
Anderson is home.
Okay. So SOAR, which stands for Sisters of Royalty, Inc. So tell us about the organization. Is this something you created? Is it like a national organization that you're a part of? Or
One day I hope for it to become national, but right now, no, it's something that I created. So I'm a PK, I'm a preacher's kid, so I grew up in the church all my life, and a part of growing up in church, which I loved, was I didn't think the women was very transparent with us back in those days. I think that they mentored us the way that they thought was best, which was, from a biblical perspective, and they would talk to us about what the Bible said, but they never shared with us some of the things that they had gone through, or maybe mistakes that they had made and how they recovered from those mistakes. And so I wanted to do something different. I wanted to take a little bit of what I got as a young lady, but put a twist on it, a little spin on it, and try to be as transparent and real with the young ladies, because I think that helps them to not make mistakes, because I thought that some of the women in the church when I grew up were perfect. I thought they didn't make mistakes, and I thought, man, how do I ever become that perfect? Right. Yeah. And it wasn't until I went to college, I went to a Christian school, and I got pregnant my freshman year at school. And so when that happened, I was asked to leave because I was pregnant out of wedlock. And I felt alone. I felt like people had just kind of left me. And so remembering what I went through, I wanted to do something different for young ladies today that may be faced with some of the same challenges. And I want to just say to them, you know what? I've been there, done that. I made that mistake. This is how, God is a good God. He's a forgiving God. This is how I made it out of that. And so just being able to offer those type of services and advice and realness to them.
I'm still on, they asked you to leave.
Yeah. Yes.
How does that work? Did you get a letter?
So, no, well, actually what happened in my particular situation is I passed out in class. Like, I literally just fainted, blacked out, because I woke up at the hospital. And so when I got to the hospital, the doctor was like, what do you think is wrong? I said, I think I'm anemic. Me being pregnant never crossed my mind. I just said, I think I'm anemic. He said, well, we're going to do a pregnancy test. And I was like, okay. He was like, have you ever had sex? And I said, yes. He said, okay. I was like, but I'm not pregnant. Like, I argued with him. I'm not pregnant. He came back. He said, you're pregnant. And so the school, because I had passed out at school, they came to the hospital to check on me. And so when they came to check on me, it was the dean. He said, what are they saying? I said, well, they said I'm pregnant. And he was like, oh, okay. And it was probably, a week or so later, I got a letter saying that, when you signed up as a student at our university, that you signed up and said that you would uphold Christian biblical standards. And because you're pregnant and you're not married, we have to ask you to leave.
Wow. Okay. It just seems to me, and I understand where they're coming from, but the flip side of that is, when you ostracize or you put women out, then that's why they sometimes end up at abortion clinics. So it just seems to be the opposite of what we should be trying to do. Like, okay, what can we do to help her so that she keeps this baby? That's really...
And Kelly, that happened a lot. Like, I have several friends that had several abortions because they didn't want it to be known that they had had sex out of marriage. Yes.
Wow, that's deep. Okay, that's
Yeah.
another show.
A whole nother
The
show.
girls are sitting here going, "Look, I am here to be empowered."
They're
One
like,
time
Miss
I
Veronica,
getting
we
kicked out of
didn't know,
school.
right?
Like we're getting deep, like deep. So okay, so you thought. So this just came to you 3 years ago or so, but you've
Yeah.
worked with kids for a long time.
Yeah, so I actually fell into working with kids, into social services. I was 19 when I got married. As a matter of fact, I'm celebrating 25 years today of marriage.
Wow, well, congratulations.
Thank you. But I was 19 when I got married, and so I was just looking for a job. And so I found a job working at a facility with at-risk girls. And I was just a staff member. Like, I would go in, take them to their appointments, or pick them up from school, or take them shopping. Kind of like what I do now in terms of mentoring. And my boss lost her position. And so I just kind of stepped up and started doing things. And my coworkers got together and went to the CEO and said, "We want her as our boss." And he was like, "Okay." So he called me in for a meeting and he said, "Veronica, you know, your coworkers are really wanting you." And I was like, "Well, I don't," at that time, I'm college educated now, but I didn't have the degree that required. And he said, "Well, we have a way that we can rewrite the position, but, you know, and we'll help you go back to school." And so I started working at that group home, fell in love with every single girl that came through that group home. It was a step down from detention. So if they couldn't get it right there, then they would be sent over to detention. So it was kind of like a second chance program. And that's where I found my passion for young women. And so just watching some of the things that they went through and they were going through, and just trying to be a good example, and knowing some of the things that I had gone through, it was a perfect fit. So then this program started because I worked in the casino industry for years, and it wasn't where I was supposed to be. And so I lost my job due to a new company taking over. They downsized, and I'm like, "Okay, God, what's next? What am I supposed to be doing?" And so I started a program for girls because I saw a need in our county and in our city. I am the only mentoring program for girls in Madison County.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a lot of young girls going without a mentor.
A lot of them.
Right,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to the ladies now a little bit, get that conversation going. So I want to start with Kelsey. So Kelsey, tell me why or how you became a part of SOAR.
So I learned about it from one of the girls who was in SOAR, and she was saying, you know, this is really fun, and I've gotten to meet new people and branch out and learn some life skills. So that's how I found out about SOAR.
Okay. So do you like it?
Very much.
Really? What do you like about it?
Just how real we can be with one another.
Okay. And you mentioned that earlier because you said, you know, I made mistakes, and when people think like somebody's perfect, then they're less like I don't want to be a part of that. I can't
Right.
live up to it. And so that's the same thing. Mistakes being real. Yeah, that we're all human.
Yes, and Kelsey actually moved to Anderson from Texas, so she's new to the city, period. So
What part of Texas?
East Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a switch. That would take some empowering. Yeah.
And we have that in common because I moved from Texas
Oh, really?
to Indiana
Okay.
in the 90s. So yeah, we have that in common.
Wow.
It's definitely a switch.
How's that happen? I mean, everybody's trying to get there. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we're going to talk some more Kelsey, but we're going to talk to Deja before we take a break. So tell me, Deja, how you got involved with SOAR and why.
I was doing tutoring due to COVID. A lot of kids were struggling in school, and we were doing. Me and my mom went to tutor at this church, and I was tutoring a little boy, but my mom was talking to Veronica, and Veronica met me, and she told my mom about the group, and I was struggling with a few things at the time, so my mom thought it was a good idea for me to have somebody else to talk to.
Okay. So how has it impacted your life?
I think mostly it's just made me feel like I'm not alone, and it's helped me like connect with a lot of girls because I'm not the type of person to have friends or even try to have friends. So
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. Like I've always had bad experiences with having friends. When I was in middle school, I was sent to a private Christian school, and I was bullied for a lot of things.
Well, you have a great voice, by the way. I see a career in broadcasting.
Come on. I tell
I'm listening to
them,
her like
love
CNN,
it.
you know.
Yes, come on.
But it's funny how, when even saying something that's simple can impact a young person, even your age, but especially when somebody's younger, because sometimes you don't see for yourself what other people see, or we don't give ourselves enough credit, and other people can see that. But yeah, when she was talking, I was like, oh, radio.
Yeah, it's
TV.
her. It's her and one other girl in our program that I'm like, man, y'all broadcasting all the way.
Have you
They
picked up
have
on
it.
that before?
Yes,
Okay, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
they have it.
Yeah. So, and trust me, I can, I'd be at the drive-through when I hear somebody like, "Dang, they missed their collar." Like, I'll get to the window like, "Dude, you're dumping fries. Like, you need to be on the radio." You ever do that? Like, guys,
Yes.
yeah, do that. So, okay, well, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about SOAR and your experiences, and then what you hope to accomplish with the organization, and what you ladies plan to accomplish as far as your futures go. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. We'll do that when we come back.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens. Testing. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy.
And we're back here on Inside Indy and talking to Veronica Watkins, who is the founder and CEO of Sisters of Royalty. And the Sisters of Royalty are here too. They are Deja McLemore? McLemore.
Yes.
Okay. And Kelsey Price, both mentees of Veronica. And there are other ladies who work as a part of your organization. Let's talk about them, mention them, and what you all do in interacting with these young women to empower them.
Yeah. So we have several. When we first started, which was 2 years ago, we had about, 12, 15 volunteers. Now we're probably down to like 7 or 8. But we have a parent care coordinator. Her name is Holly Watkins. And what Holly does is she does all the communicating when it comes to parents, because when we first started the program, it was overwhelming for me. To have parents reaching out to me, and I'm trying to reach out to the girls. It was a lot. So her job is to be that liaison between me and the parents. And then we have Tamara Fuller. She does all of our volunteer stuff. So anybody that wants to volunteer and be a part of the program, whether it's a mentor or just come and help with an event, she's the one that they would have to go through as far as she does the application, she does some of our training, that type of stuff. And then recently, Andrea Nicole Streety was on my board, and she is now our executive director. One of the reasons we asked her to take on that role is because of her background. She is a school teacher. She's taught for over 25 years. She has her master's, and she's just an amazing, amazing person.
Wow.
The way that she connects with kids in general, whether it's a boy or a girl, it's just amazing to see her do that. So she's come alongside to help me out. We've written a couple grants together, and just, been a great asset to our program.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how difficult was it to make an organization like this and become a not-for-profit? And
it was very challenging. So I'm the type of person, you can't tell me I can't do something, because I will go above and beyond to show you, yes, I can. And so it was just a vision that I got, and a dream that I wanted to do. So I got on the phone and I called 10 of my girlfriends and said, listen, this is what I want to do. I want you guys to each mentor a girl. What do you think? They were like, sure, how do you want to do it? Okay. And so we put out a call on social media asking for young ladies, it was so overwhelming. We had to take the post down because it was too many girls. We only wanted 10.
Wow.
And so,
Dang.
so
Okay.
we finally chose our 10 from referrals through churches, from the school system, from just people in the community. We chose the 10 young ladies, and I had a meeting at my house. I invited the 10 young ladies, the 10 women, and the families, the moms, the dads, the grandmothers, whoever was raising or parent or guardian. They came to my house, and I said, look, I have nothing in writing. I don't even know what this is going to look like. I just know this is something that I want to do. Will you entrust your child into my care? And so they did. So the first retreat that we had, the first kickoff that we had was a retreat. I talked to one of the hotels in Anderson. Thank you, Best Western. They donated 6 rooms, and we paid for 5 rooms. And so we were able to have it there. And then a lot of restaurants came alongside, like Popeyes and Pizza Hut and Chick-fil-A, and they donated the food because we were working on.
And it's paying off right now.
Right.
That's okay.
Working on $0. So that helped us out a lot. And so I just shared what I wanted to happen, and then a group of probably 4 or 5 of us, young ladies, got together and we wrote the program. And so the first group of girls actually went through a whole year of the program. And what we realized was a year was too long. They, in terms of parents getting them there, and we were meeting every week. So it wasn't just a year every other week. We were meeting every single Sunday, and it was too much. And so we said, how can we fix this? So we tailored it back, and we said, let's try 12 weeks, but we meet every other week. So it's almost like a 24-week program. So then we started with this group of girls. They're the first group to go through the 12-week process, and we meet every other week. However, there are things that we do in between. Like, my biggest thing with the young ladies is I want to expose them to things that they would not ordinarily get the opportunity to do. Kind of like this right here.
You don't have it on TV show.
And we, some of them had never, the Palladium. Some of them had never gone, some of them have never left Anderson. And so, and you try to just show them some things outside. Let me show you something a little different. And I also try to tap into their gifts and talents, like try to find their strengths. And that helps me kind of push them where, they may not know they need that little nudge. And it reminds me of one of our young ladies who loved to cook. And from my understanding, college was not in the plan for her. And so one day during COVID, because we were doing a lot of virtual sessions, I saw where Sullivan University was doing virtual cooking online. So I sent her a text and said, hey, Erin, let's get on here and do this together. And so we jumped on and we did the online together. Not only is she in college, and her major is culinary, but she entered a contest through Sullivan during COVID, and she was the top 3 that was chosen. And so they offered her money, but it wasn't enough for her to go. But she won that. I mean, she was the top 3. We were like, yay, that's so awesome.
That's pretty cool.
So now she is in Vincennes, and she finished her first year of college and is in culinary. But I think had she not gone through this program, I don't know that she would have found that niche right then. I'm not saying she wouldn't have ever found it, but so that's part of what we
that
do.
would get you going.
Yeah.
So in dealing with the young ladies, what do you, and let's just talk about these 2 ladies here. So in terms of Kelsey, how, in what ways are you directing her, and in what ways are you mentoring her?
So Kelsey and Deja both are honor students, so when we recruit, there's not a certain type of girl we're looking for. So I'm not looking for the cream of the crop, if I can say that. And I'm not looking for girls that are troubled, We're looking for girls that they're saying we want to be mentored. We need this in our lives. So when we interview, just because a girl applies doesn't mean she's accepted. So once we go through the interview process and we talk to them and their parents, then we figure out if this girl is a good fit for the program. With Kelsey, I'm 120% honest. She has a mom that is absolutely amazing. Cooking, hospitality, that's her thing. What's the boards you like to make? I can't say it.
A charcuterie board.
Yeah, she's amazing at that. So honestly,
cooking?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And she didn't cook at the house, did she?
Next time.
At the retreat. We were on a retreat together, so yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
next time.
I'm taking notes, okay.
Yeah, but I've seen her mom share some of the pictures, and is photography your thing as well? So yeah.
My first love. That's I
Yes.
used to be, well, our producer, Jeff Elliott knows that I'm a shutterbug. And he gets really mad at me because I take pictures all the time. But he doesn't know it started, I was really 5. I love pictures and photos, and I used to develop my own pictures in the darkroom. I used to take pictures in high school, but that led into journalism. I wanted to be a photojournalist, and then an aunt of mine said, "Why don't you go into broadcasting?" I said, "Okay." I just switched like then, but it started with something as simple as taking pictures. So that's that. Hey, hang on to that.
Yeah.
Are you interested in journalism at all? What do you want to do?
Well, I want to major in hospitality and food management. And
Okay.
so with that, I want to one day own my own business.
Okay. So what business? Restaurant? Or
Restaurant.
hotel?
Restaurant.
Okay. Okay. That's great. But she has a vision. How old are you now?
18.
18. Okay.
So she'll be going to Ball State in the fall. But so some girls, like the young lady I was sharing about that went to culinary school, it took a little more of a nudge. Some girls I don't have to nudge as much because they kind of know, so they need more of a support. Does that make
Right.
sense? So she's one of my girls that I feel like she needs that support. She knows what she wants to do. She has a vision of where she wants to go. So how can I support you? How can I walk
Right.
alongside you?
And I think the tendency, and trust me, it doesn't necessarily go away when you get old, is that you think you know what you want, or you think you know something, and then until somebody confirms it, you feel like it wasn't official. But what I've had to do is to trust my gut, and that you need, lead and not follow or wait on
Yes.
somebody's approval.
Yes.
And I've even invented things in my mind and then saw it on television.
Yeah.
Then I'm mad at myself, because I didn't trust my gut. I didn't trust my own judgment. So, but that may not ever go away. But just but do act on things. Don't wait for approval, or because some things may seem crazy. Like, that's a crazy idea. Just do it. So what about you, Deja? Or you want to tell us more about Deja and her journey?
So Deja, she's special. Not that Kelsey's not, but this is why Deja is special. Deja did not apply to the program. She wasn't looking. I don't even think she knew we were there. We were actually at a place where she was tutoring. I was there to support a brother of mine. He has a tutoring program in Anderson. And her mom and I just got to talking about some personal things that Deja was going through. And she's like, "I think she'd be great for your program." So when parents come and tell me that, I'm like, okay, but I want to talk to the young lady. And so she and I chatted, and I was like, "Do you think it's something you'd be interested in?" And she said yes. And so she started coming. We've had more intimate conversations because of some of the things that she's gone through. But I love the growth that I've seen in Deja, as far as not having girlfriends before, and these two are now buds. There, to bring her when we had the overnight at your place, to bring her with a group of girls like that probably wouldn't have happened before. So I've seen a lot of growth, and as far as schooling and going to school, and I said to her the day, I said, "So are you gonna stay on campus?" And she was like, "Yeah, I am." I was like, yes, because I wanted her to, not that being at home is a bad thing, but I think that with her situation and some of the things that she's gone through, being on campus would be a much better fit for her.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So, and I think we probably have about a minute and a half left. So what's the future like for SOAR?
Man, my dream, if I could like wave a magic wand right now and tell you what I want this to happen right now. My dream is for SOAR. We set this program up like a sorority, like a sisterhood. So even our letters are like the Greek letters. And so I would love to have different chapters in different states. I would love for these young ladies that have gone through to come back and mentor, even if it's a junior mentor. What tends to happen once they complete their 12 weeks, they don't want to leave. And so now we're reevaluating how do we process that? What do we do? So now we're going through where they'll go to a different level of the program. They don't necessarily have to leave the program. So since they're leaving and going off to college, Deja just came to me and said, "Ms. Veronica, you got to do a college. You have to do something for college girls." So yeah, that
Okay.
I feel like we need to wrap.
Yeah, we got it right. So again, and I really have to go, but Kelsey, real quick, what do you say to young people out there? What advice to young women, very quickly?
To learn to be comfortable with yourselves.
Okay, Deja?
Don't be afraid to be who you are.
All right, sounds good to me. Veronica Watkins, founder and CEO of Sisters of Royalty, and Deja and Kelsey, thanks so much for joining us on Inside Indy.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you for joining us. If you want to know more information about SOAR, it's on your screen there. Give her a call. She's kind of full right now, but she'll make something happen for you. I'm Kelly Vaughn. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
I have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day,
One man's
right down in
dream
Georgia,
of racial
Mississippi,
equity and harmony. Unity, seeing people as people, created in the image of God, is central to the Christian message. Acts records, "From one man he made every nation of men." God did this so men would seek him. Celebrate the creation, celebrate the vision, and celebrate each other as God celebrates you.
with this faith, I will go out with you and transform dark yesterdays into bright tomorrows. With this faith, we will be able to achieve this new day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing with the Negroes in the spiritual of all, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty. We are free at last.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.